Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk today, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We appreciate you all joining us, and today we're going to have a show on some of the things that have happened in 2018 and maybe some of the things we're going to put behind us and move forward to 2019 with our beef, dairy, pork industry. But anyway, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're here. More after these messages.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan. Usually we have a guest here, but today you're stuck with me. We're so fortunate to be at Kansas State University and work with Iowa State and Ohio State and Mizzou and Illinois and different universities that have great veterinarians, great veterinary practices in Kansas, and people share their time with us. But today, you're stuck with me. Today we're going to talk about some of the issues that they're kind of tied to, we usually talk them as soft science, like sustainability and animal welfare and antibiotic stewardship and different things to that nature that seem to be lip service to the consumer. But really, when we start to think about what the consumer and what the retailer are saying to us back in the country is what we have to start to understand. And while somebody asked me the other day, they go, well, what's your job? And I said, well, my job is I go to the retailers and consumers to let them understand how great of a job that we do in raising beef and producing milk. And then I have to come back from the consumer meetings and come back to the country and say, hey, you know what? If we do this, we can sell more beef. If we do this a little bit better, we might have a better milk market. Those are some of the things that we have to start considering, and I think we do. But we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we have to understand that there's a balance. And the one thing about sustainability that we've learned in 2018 is that we can focus on welfare, we can focus on environmental stewardship, and we can focus on food safety and security. But if it costs us more, we have to get more income from it. And the one thing that we can't be sustainable is if we don't have profitability. So economics has to be rolled into any kind of sustainability modeling that we're going to do. Now, the other thing is when we hear people say, well, we're only going to source beef from sustainable beef operations. And I work with McDonald's Corporation quite a bit, and they've come out with sustainability pilots and different projects. And the one thing about sustainability when it comes to retailers is they're trying to predict 40, 50 years from now whose operations are going to still be in business? Who has the good environmental stewardship management plans? Who's doing a good job with welfare and performance and production so that they're going to be the businesses that stay in business as we continue to see consolidation and growth of our cattle ranches, and we start to see cooperation between cattle producers and we're getting fewer operations that are becoming bigger in the number of cattle that they own. It's going to be important for us to understand who's going to be buying up the cow herds and renting the land so that we can have a supply through the packer, through the retailer. So those are the things that are really being evaluated. So who's really going to be in business in 20, 50, 100 years from now so that we can have a consistent supply chain? As we have a growing global population, if we don't increase the number of animals that we raise, then the demand for the protein that is being produced is going to increase. So I think that some of the things that we have to understand when we're in the beef operation, we're not just competing against ourselves or within our supply chain, but we're also, when the soccer mom gets to the counter and is trying to decide whether or not to have antibiotic-free chicken or a hamburger, we're going to have to start looking at things that we pay forward to increase beef demand, and it may change the way that we manage animals on the farm.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson, and we talked about sustainability in the first segment. And I would say 2018 has been the year of the antibiotic as well, and antibiotic stewardship and judicious antimicrobial usage. And I would say the first thing is that the number one cause of antibiotic resistance in humans comes from other humans, not from animals. And when we start to think about antibiotic resistance and shifting from antibiotic residue avoidance, which we do a great job of in our industry, 99.9% of the carcasses have no antibiotic residue at all. And that is just from the teamwork of veterinarians, farmers, ranchers, retailers, packers, to make sure that we're adhering to the withdrawal times of antibiotics. Now we're shifting from antibiotic residue avoidance to antibiotic resistance avoidance. And some of the things that have changed will be some of the antibiotics being listed on the World Health Organization as being important to human medicine, or antibiotics that we use in beef and dairy as being critically important to human medicine. And as we go up the tier, or as we go from the bottom shelf of the medicine cabinet to the top shelf of the medicine cabinet, understanding that reaching for the ones that are critically important for human medicine are probably going to come under more scrutiny in our industry than the ones at the bottom. Our largest reason that we use antibiotics in the beef industry today is because we feed Thailand at 8 to 10 grams per ton on a daily basis to feedlot cattle. And chlorotetracycline and mineral and chlorotetracycline CTC or AS700 in receiving calf diets or things of that nature probably makes up 90% of the antibiotics used in the beef industry. Okay, so what do we see coming? I think that we see that we'll have a reduction or removal of tylosin in the cattle feeding industry in the future, which will remove probably 70% of the antibiotics used. And I don't have an exact number, but it's pretty close. So let's get back to some of the reasons why we're looking at this. One is we're trying to, one thing we have to understand is antibiotics are critically important for both human and animal health. Going to a never ever antibiotic program is not fair to the animals, and it's not fair to human health. We have to take care of the animals and practice good animal husbandry, good judicious antibiotic stewardship, and balance between the two. Secondly, we probably will not have over-the-counter antibiotics. We've had a VFD in 2017. In the next 2 years, they'll remove the oxytetracycline and penicillin from the farm stores, and we'll have to have a prescription. Increased veterinary oversight, making sure your rural community has a veterinarian to work with you to provide prescriptions and provide case definitions so that we can keep these tools is going to be important. I don't think we'll be allowed to feed antibiotics, and maybe we shouldn't be feeding antibiotics at all for the prevention of disease. However, when the time comes to control infectious diseases or to treat infectious diseases, we need to make sure that so that we have those tools available to us, we have to have veterinary oversight, and we have to use these products in a responsible manner. The biggest worry I have of antibiotic resistance isn't in our food supply chain to our consumer. It's on the farm today of what you could be potentiating and then tracking in your house on your boots. More after this.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
With nearly 100 years of broadcasting excellence, Ren Radio is now live on the internet playing hit songs of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Join Jack Diamond, Mac Collins, Les Glenn, Frankie C., Antonio Barber, Wings Callahan, and the real Don Steele for some of the best music ever recorded. Hear it at rendigitalmedia.com or get the Ren Oldies Radio app in Play Store or App Store and tell Alexa, good times and great oldies on Ren Internet Radio.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business has started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecrop.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
I'm Tom Perrier. Our ranch is called Dale Banks Angus. Dale Banks is not a person, but it's a place. This ranch was started by my great-grandfather. He came from northwest England, and his farm there was called Dale Banks, and so he called his ranch here in the Flint Hills Dale Banks. The beef checkoff today has fulfilled a lot of needs that our industry had over the years. We were very involved in trying to get the beef checkoff passed back in the 70s and early 80s because we saw the need then, and the beef checkoff, I think, has fulfilled a lot of those needs.
I think some of the biggest bonuses that we've gotten from the beef checkoff in the last 20 years have been twofold, both in the research phase of the industry, one being the Beef Quality Assurance Program that showed us just how much money we could capture by simply doing things like moving the injection sites from the hip and rump of the animal up to the neck, where we had less high-valued cuts. That drove millions of dollars into our industry. The other thing that our beef industry did about 15 years ago was embark on new product development, things like the flat iron steak and things that used to get ground into hamburger and other low-valued cuts today are sold for a premium, and that too, just like the Beef Quality Assurance Program, has driven huge dollars into our industry that we all get to share.
Matt's the primary driver behind the operation right now, and he's the 6th generation, and his children will be the 7th generation.
I hope our kids are better at telling our beef industry's story. I think the last several years the beef checkoff has shown us how to do that better. They've given us some tools to do that, so we need to do a better job of telling the wonderful story that we have, and I hope our kids can continue to do that.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here. We're in the beautiful Alumni Center at Kansas State University. It's one of my favorite buildings on campus. Memorial Stadium out the back, Ahern. A lot of memories of a lot of people that went through these halls and through the campus at Kansas State here, and we're awfully proud of it. Come visit us sometime if you're ever around the Manhattan area. We've had visitors this year that just have come to meet us on the show and be on the set, and we always encourage that. You can find our email address on the web. But one of the things that I want to touch on too that has been probably 2018 for me anyway has been more low stress cattle handling and understanding more about how we move cattle, how we interact with cattle. But more importantly, one of the things that we have to be conscious about is not undomesticating our herds. And as I talk to people in auction markets and I'm in packing plants, and cattle have less interaction with human beings on foot on the farm and ranch, and some of the reasons why are, you know, we have big bale feeders, and we go out and we unwrap the bale. We're not spending as much time outside the cab of the pickup with our cattle. When we take a look at fence line bunks and we have a mixer wagon and we don't get out of the cab of the pickup and we just show up and we just put that feed down and the cows come up and eat it. The other thing is darts and using dart guns to doctor. So we have bale wrap, we unroll bales, we get out, we take the bale wrap off, we get back in, we unroll the bale. We put out cow cake out of the pickup. We have fence line bunks, and then when we do stop to interact with the animals, we roll down the window of the pickup and we shoot one of them out the cab. So thinking about, I'm not saying that any of these are bad practices because we use them all the time. What I'm trying to get at is how are you acclimating your cattle to your person so that the next person that owns them in a feedlot doesn't have to spend as much time acclimating those cattle to humans. And you think, well, this just has something to do with the feed yards being greedy or something to that nature, but I can tell you what it really is that until the cattle trust people, they won't show clinical signs of disease. And so we're spending so much time in our pens with cattle that are newly arrived, trying to acclimate them to trust us. And once they trust us, they say, okay, now that I trust you, I don't feel good. Pull me and treat me. What happens is if they don't trust us, they think that we are predators and that they are prey. And they don't trust us yet. So the one that's lame, the one that's sick, the one that's weak, that's the one that the predator preys on, so these animals will then hide their clinical signs. If you want to have improved antibiotic usage or treatment, or you want to be able to find sick cattle better, the first thing you can do is make sure that you spend more time with your animals, acclimate them so that they gain trust, you gain their trust and they gain yours, and then they'll start to show you clinical signs. So if I had one thing that's been huge this year, has been low stress cattle handling, to acclimate these cattle before they have a change of address and before we send them to the packing plant. Loading, unloading, all the transportation, all the above. Come back and we'll have a wrap up of 2018 here on DocTalk.
About 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulder sure hurt. I kept waiting and it didn't get better and didn't get better. I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio. Got down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over, and it just kept getting better and better. And within 6 weeks I was back digging post holes and doing the other hard work that I'd been doing before the accident. And I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from DocTalk here. Thanks for joining me for our Cattle First tip today, sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica. And we're talking about injection sites. And injection sites, all of our injections go in the neck. Here's a picture of the injection site triangle that you can see is underneath the nuchal ligament, above the vertebral column, and in front of the point of the shoulder. This injection site triangle is where we will put all of our injections for cattle. Now, if we're going to do 2 injections in that area, we put about a hand's width apart between the 2 injections. Nothing goes in the top butt, nothing in the round, nothing over the ribs. Now, if you're going to do a sub-Q injection, you go in at a 45-degree angle with a 5/8 inch or 1/2 inch needle. If you're going to do an intramuscular injection, you go in perpendicular to the calf with an inch to inch and a half length needle. This is your Cattle First tip.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandarin with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
Tarwater Farm and Home is a 40-year-old local family-owned business. Clothing for work and play, seeds and feeds, boots, toys for the kids, and tools you'll need for around the house and farm. And a service department to keep them in top running order. It's a big store, so take some time to see what they have for your farm and home. Tarwater's everyday pricing is like others' sale prices. When you need it, they've got it. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard.
Healthy cows start with the new Hired Hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher, leaving more time to tend to other vital tasks on the farm. To learn more, visit cowsprayer.com. The new Hired Hand makes healthy cows easy.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook or Twitter.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. 2018 has been a fantastic year for us. I hope it has been for you. I know that we've lost some good people that were important in our lives this year. And if you lost a loved one, I pray for you and your family that you got through this holiday and remember the joyous times and remember the wisdom and hear their voices and think about them in such a loving and wonderful way. We're pretty lucky on this earth to share agriculture with each other, and I feel blessed every day that I get up, that I get to serve the state of Kansas and serve our producers across this country. You know, one thing that when this is DocTalk, and so we talk about veterinary medicine. And veterinary medicine in a rural community is about service. Veterinary medicine in a rural community is not about getting rich. It's about the same type of service as our school teachers, our police officers, our firefighters, our doctors, different people, dentists within rural communities that have decided that they want to go home or they want to explore rural America and provide service. It's not about getting rich, it's not about getting famous, but it is about endearing yourself to a community, helping keep Main Street open, helping keep your school open, and providing service at 3 a.m. on Saturday night when it's snowing and that cow's calving. You have a place to holler in and you have a doc that's going to help you get through it. Or if you have an outbreak of some sort that we can do diagnostic testing. What I'm going to ask of you all is that we start to look at ways that we make the veterinarian more of a partnership on your farm or ranch. And I'm not saying this in a selfish manner. I'm saying this because I love the beef industry, the dairy industry, the pork industries, and poultry. And I can tell you that when all of the topics that we've talked about, animal welfare, antibiotic stewardship, sustainability, the most important partner you can have on your farm or ranch in a rural community is that mixed animal practitioner. That person is the one that is paying local option budget for the school systems and is out there on a day in and day out. They have unbelievable brains, and I think that the future, 2019, will be the year of preventative medicine. Use your veterinarian to develop weaning programs, scour prevention programs, things that you normally would use a technology. Start to think about how we're going to use our brain, how we're going to bring animal husbandry and veterinary medicine, production medicine, preventative medicine together to make changes so that we sell more product, that we increase beef demand, and we have a sustainable industry with the help and the service of that rural practitioner. Thanks for watching DocTalk. Thanks for all you do for us. It's very humbling to meet y'all when we're out on the road or when we're in an airport or something to that nature and someone says, hey, you're DocTalk. We have a blast with it. Heather, Kelly, myself, thank you very much for everything you've done. If you want to know more about DocTalk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson. Always work with your local practitioner, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.